Hey YouTube, Osmane Night Slicer here, doing another deck video. This one's going to be my Mist Valley deck, which on the Team Tonberry website has gotten the most views and probably the most comments overall. One comment in particular, I'll try to resolve before it happens a whole bunch on this video as well, when I get to the card that people suggest taking out a card and replacing it with something else that they believe overall works better, but there's certain reasons why I'd rather use one of the cards over that. So starting off, we have the one I call Big Mama, Mist Valley Apex Avian. She's pretty epic when you can get her out. The only problem is she's a 2 tribute, and the fact that I only run one, and there's no way to switch her out, it makes her pretty hard to get out. But most of the time, when I get her, I try to dump her in the graveyard and use Monster Reborn to Call of the Haunted. Next card, which is one that got some interest when it had come out, but I haven't really heard much about it since then, is Aleister, Sovereign of Birds. He's pretty epic. It's good against archetype decks that are based around one attribute, so you can special summon if your opponent has 2 or more of the face-up monsters of the same attribute, and then once returned, he can essentially skill drain a card on the field, which allows you to do all sorts of interesting things. I'll let you guys figure that one out. This is the card that people suggest me taking out, is my 2 Mist Valley Executors. They suggest me switching them out for Swift Birdman Joe because in this deck, Swift Birdman Joe would look like a giant Trunade, whereas this guy only hits the face-ups. The reason why I like to run this guy over him is the fact that I can reuse him in combination with another monster, which I'll talk about him when we get there, as well the fact that he does fit the archetype, and as well if I were to run some of the other tuners within the deck, I could use him in a synchro summon for their big synchro. The next card is one that's going to get a lot of play here coming soon as the Dragunity stuff comes out. As I've been told, it's going to be some deck called Falcon Punch, and there's already been talk about maybe getting this guy banned or limited because of it, is Mist Valley Falcon. Frankly, I don't expect them to hit him because he himself's not really that much of a problem. It's just the way that they're using him. Though I can abuse him pretty easily in this deck already anyway, so. Next monster is one of my favorites in this deck, is my 3 Mist Valley Soldiers. Pretty much level 4 tuner, anything he does not kill and he survives that battle, he can return back to my opponent's hand, which can be pretty helpful for stuff like Spirit Reaper and Marshmelon, and as well monsters that just turn out to have more defense than what his attack is, which isn't that hard to do, because he only got 17. This is one I've gotten some questions about as well on the other video. It's my Mist Valley Watchers. Mist Valley Watcher. The only reasons why I even run him is the fact that he's got a halfway decent defense. With one of the other cards, he's got a decent attack, and the fact that he gives me a little bit extra to be able to synchro for Thunderlord. That's really the only reasons. If I had an effect monster that was a level 4 Mist Valley, other than him and Falcon, I would do it. So continuing on, this is the one that I was talking about when it came to Executor. Mist Condor allows me to recycle my Executors pretty easily, and I've done it several times. It's been a matter of turn after turn after turn of recycling my Executors with Mist Condor. Probably my favorite tuner in this deck, which is one of the few cards that I'm actually happy with the change in artwork, is Mist Valley Shaman. I frankly think she looks a lot better in the TCG than the OCG. She just looks kind of creepy in the OCG, but I kind of like the look of her here. But I don't really use her ability most of the time unless I have a Thunderbird out. But once per turn, you can turn one other monster you control to the hand to have this card gain 500 attack until the end phase. Before the newest ban list, I used to have a Brain Control in the deck, and I would use it in combo with that, but most of the time I don't use her that way anymore. It's typically just for synchro summon. And then one of my favorite little monsters in this deck, the one that I have the most fun with, is the Thunderbirds, which really help this deck overall run pretty damn well. Allows me to do all sorts of little combos, like with Apex Avian, there's the ultimate lockout ability of that, pretty much. Falcon's ability can go off without a problem, though I normally hit my spells and traps for that. It allows Thunderlord to go off so easily. Shaman, as I said, in general, really helpful in this deck. This one is a little bit more unusual for people to even see because they weren't really even aware of this card's existence. But I found out about this card back when Mist Valleys were first coming out, actually about 3 months before they were coming out. So I ordered 2 of the 3 that were left on trollandtoad.com for $5 a piece, and I have been very satisfied with their performance in here, which is the Hunter Owl. Which Hunter Owl in general, he's an epic card. I enjoy his artwork to a degree as well. He makes me wish for more owl cards since I like owls. Next 2 cards, which are my spells, are some of my favorite tech choices. As you guys will probably notice throughout some of my decks, are the back to square ones. I run 2 in here. It really helps me get through real easy and kill my opponent as quickly as possible. Thanks to those back to square ones, I've been able to defeat a lot of decks that I was really surprised I was able to beat. Like, I actually would have beaten a Blackwing deck if I hadn't gone easy on him and gave him some mercy overall. Which shows, don't give your opponent some mercy. Next card, which I was originally running 1, now I'm running 2, now that I can't use brain control, is Bait Doll. The 2 Bait Dolls really help take care of the back row a whole lot, as well. The whole fact that they can recycle themselves is great. Giant Trunade, as you guys pretty much know by some of my other decks, is a staple as far as I'm concerned in my decks. Lightning, staple. Monster Reborn, staple. Mystical Space Typhoon, staple. The thing that makes this deck really as powerful as it is my field spell I run, which I run Rising Air Current, which I run 3 of. Really helps really overpower a lot of cards out there, so very helpful in this deck. Next card is Swords, which Swords is incredibly broken in this deck because I can create an infinite swords. As long as you don't have the ability to destroy my swords, you won't be able to attack in this deck. So next thing up is my 2 Terraformings. Just search out those Rising Air Currents a little bit faster. I run 1 Bottomless in here. I'll get around some of those big monsters. Fallen Haunted, general staple. Since this deck already has kind of a balanced theme to it, I'm running 2 Compulsories. People really think it's just mean that I'm running those anyway. To protect my Apex Avian, since she has trouble with speed spell 3 cards, I have Destruction Jammer to help protect her. As well as this deck's very weak to stuff like Lightning Vortex anyway. Then I run 1 Icarus Attack, which is a general staple for Winged Beast decks anyway. And then I run a Threatening. Then as for my extra deck, I only have 4 Synchros. I run 3 Mist Valley Thunderlords, which he's just plain epic. Most of the time in this deck, he's at 36 a lot of the time, which he also allows me to do my ultimate combo with Swords of Revealing Light. He's the most effective way to abuse swords in this deck. Then, one of the most expensive synchros people like to run right now is Mistworm. I put him in here because he is related to the archetype after all. And I don't get him that often, so he's not even that much of a problem within the deck. He just kind of sits there, and if I can get him, he's a little extra bonus. Either way, that's my Mist Valley deck, and I'm Osmond9 Slicer signing out.